best of 3 winner bracket round 2 of the WardiTV Winter Championship. $3,000 to be won this weekend, and obviously both these players could absolutely win the first place prize. $1,000 for first place, $3,000 up for grabs throughout the entirety of the event across the 16 players. We play out all 16 players taking part over the course of the next few days. Even if they lose out, because a lot of the players who do lose out in the first round are players who qualified in here by playing in our other events. In the top right, Solar is our blue Zerg player. In the bottom left, Team Liquid's Clem is the red Terran. I just want to say a quick hello to potentially YouTube. How you guys doing on YouTube? I know I've not been giving YouTube a lot of love lately, guys. I'm sorry. I've been keeping the daily uploads up, but I've just not mentioned you guys a lot and stuff. But you guys out there on the YouTube, thank you so much for continuing to watch, support, and just being awesome. I really appreciate it. We've had a lot of ups and downs on the YouTube lately. Mostly a lot of downs, but going to be trying to focus on YouTube and getting back on track very soon. So if you do enjoy YouTube, do consider liking, do consider subscribing, or leaving a comment down below. All those interactions help a lot with getting the videos to be seen by more people. And like I say, going to have some YouTube-focused stuff coming up shortly. In the next, over the next month, we've got a lot of stuff going on, so there should be some really cool uploads for you guys to enjoy. Alright, well, as TVZ starts up, just before it goes, I'll answer a quick question from the chat. What's up, Wozak? How you doing, mate? If you can't fund on Kickstarter for the Cast of Civil War, because you don't have a credit card, where or when and where would it be best to donate? If you donate during the streams of the Cast of Civil War, any donations during the streams of the Cast of Civil War will go towards the Cast of Civil War little fund. So if you just donate on my stream, but during a Cast of Civil War broadcast, so any of the broadcasts that are Cast of Civil War focused, it'll go into a Cast of Civil War fund, and we'll be using it for some expenses on the event. Depending on how much support we get during the streams, in that way, it will kind of depend what we use the money on. If it's a significant amount, we will probably put it towards some prize pool. If it's not so significant, you know, we'll probably use it on expenses like admin work and stuff like that. So, but it will absolutely go towards the supporting the Cast of Civil War. And if you pledge any amount, or well, not pledge, but if you donate any amount during those streams, you will get the benefits and the bonuses as though you pledged on Kickstarter. So if you donate, I guess it's like £80, but £80 or the equivalent, you still get the behind-the-scenes Discord access or so, etc., etc. So you will still get access to all of those bonuses if you donate during the streams as well. Reaper is setting up as we just get ourselves going. There's still Reaper a little bit of damage done on a few Zerglings, but nothing overly crazy to begin with. Solar does have 6lings to help the defense, help protect that initial creep tumor coming forward, and he has gotten his third hatchery down without too many problems. Does opt for the forward third base, so forward third base is always a little bit of fun, because it's it kind of expands towards the Terran, which usually Zergs don't love to do, but on this map you typically go third base, fourth base, or third base, fourth base, no matter what. So sometimes taking this base over here can be nice as well, because you just get the creep going in front of the forward base. And so that's the base that's more likely to be pushed, so having creep in front of it a little bit earlier in the game can actually be a little bit more useful as well. So there's a couple ways to look at it. Getting creep out in front of this base takes a while longer, actually, so sometimes it's nice just to have that as the fourth instead. Yeah, couple ways. It might have just been as simple as well, though, the Reaper was here, and so the drone could only sneak out to the right side, couldn't sneak out to the left. That's also a possibility. Clem is very good at kind of directing the expansions to kind of be where he wants them to be. In this case, Solar's going to build Roaches. The Roach run about to be done, and so the Roaches will spawn off that forward base, and that just means they have less distance to walk to get across the map, and obviously for reinforcements, that will become pretty important as well. We do lose the Reaper. The Hellions trade in a little bit. One of the main things for Solar right now is he really wants to try and hide the fact that this is Roaches for as long as possible. So he would love to be able to sneak past these Hellions with these Roaches. And the Raven doesn't really help with this for Clem. I mean, the Raven is going to be able to put an auto turret down, and that's about it. Oh, he sees it. He saw a Roach pop out there. Instantly cancels the Raven and starts a Banshee. So that's a really big scout. He gets to see the Roach pretty much as soon as possible. Like, that was one of the first Roaches to pop, so you can't really scout this much more quickly than he did. And that's because he split the Hellions up on a couple different sides, so he was able to see multiple places. That helped a lot, as we actually go Zergling hunting with the Hellions. And like I say, the Banshee will help a lot against these Roaches. Again, a Marauder up, again, Bunkers up. Preparation here from Clem now starts to look very, very good. And that first Roach is actually going to go down. We do lose a Hellion, but to get rid of a Roach, I think that's kind of okay. Now these Roaches and Rabbits start pressing in. There's a Marauder out, as mentioned. It's about to have concussive shells. And again, the moment the Banshee is here, this is trouble for Solar, who is still building units, so he really just wants to commit in and do something with this. Then we'll lose an initial Widow Mine. He starts to lose his depots, but here's the Banshee, and unless the Ravagers hit some magical biles, this Banshee is going to have a very good time just picking away at those Ravagers. The Hellions going to hide in the corner, realizing now that the Lings are going to focus on the bunkers. He's actually going to bring the Hellions forward to try and help against those. The bunk on the right goes down. The bunk on the left not being repaired. I don't think that bunker on the left needs to go down. I think there's enough SCVs there and not enough damage on it to kill it. The Corrosive Bile does get rid of it, but I think we've bought enough time. All of the Roaches / Ravagers are pretty much dead. There's one Roach remaining, and if it's just Lings, the Hellions can obviously deal with that, and Solar is still just streaming units across the map, and because he's not doing enough, because he's not droned behind this, he's completely all in, so that has to be GG. There's not really much. Flash out the lower bracket, get an idea of what exactly this tournament looks like as we dive in for game number 2. Down one map with the all-in not working in game number 1. The red Zerg player from Kaizi Gaming is Solar. Taking on the blue Terran in the bottom left-hand side from Team Liquid, we do have Clem. Alright, map number 2. And again, how's everyone doing in the chat today? Hope you're all feeling well. Hope everyone is doing good. Welcome to the stream. It's going to be another long one, guys. We got 8 best of 3s from the Winter Championship. We've got the 2v2 event in about 3.5 hours' time. And we've got... I have endless mounds of admin work to be doing afterward as well. So, yeah, it's, I've been non-stop the last few days. It's the Cast Civil War. We're a week away. This time next week, we will be at least probably through our first match of the Cast of Civil War. We'll probably be in match number 2. I actually have a confirmed schedule, which is okay and good to go from all of the casters. So that's pretty exciting. And yeah, I guess that's probably going to go up on Liquipedia in the next. Well, I actually could probably send it to Liquipedia right now. So that did get okayed. So that's like I say, kind of an exciting one. Do I know if WTL will be taking the weekends? I don't know yet. I feel like they're trying to avoid us the best they can, which would be really nice, because I appreciate, like, obviously I don't want to clash with WTL, but I can't justify running my event not on a weekend. For me, the power of running on the weekend versus running it through the week, even if with overlap with WTL, it's still better to run it on the weekend for viewership and stuff. So I think they're trying to avoid us as best they can, but maybe they'll overlap on like 1 day or 3. I honestly don't know, but it doesn't. I feel like they would have announced their schedule already if they just knew what they were doing. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure, because we were basically going to completely overlap with the first 2 or 3 weeks of WTL, which obviously sucks. I mean, there's just not much I can really say otherwise to that, right? Like, it is sad, it is bad. I can't really help it, you know. But yeah, I mean, Liquipedia don't know anything either. Just to be clear, like, Liquipedia have the initial given starting date for WTL, but that's not guaranteed anymore because it looks like they're trying to change their schedule. As far as I'm aware, but like I say, it's hard to know exactly. Well, Ripper is out having a pretty reasonable time to start out with over here, and a couple Queens helping to push that back. Roach Roaring again from Solar, who's going to just step up the aggression once more in this game number 2. He's got the lair this time, so maybe like a quick Nidus into the main base or something. Let's try and Nidus his way to victory in this first game. Definitely a possibility. Couple Queens coming through, just gonna fight that Reaper a little bit. One Marine just gonna patrol over to the corners of the base right now, is obviously just keeping an eye out for things, so seeing what's going on. Manson's gonna start morphing into an orbital, and the Nidus network does indeed go down. This seems fairly obvious from what we can see. We'll see if Clem can figure it out. He's going for that Raven again. It's an interesting one, because if you go Banshee against a Nidus, obviously the Queens can come through the Nidus anyway, so it's not like a guaranteed situation of like Queen, you know, Banshee will just defend. Then how much does the Raven really add to this? That actually doesn't have vision in the corner of his base anymore, by the way, so this Overlord scouting through Wonder if that's going to throw him off. I actually don't think Clem's going to hold this, because I really don't think he's going to be able to see the Nidus. He had a Marine over there, but he's moved it to kill the Overlords. The Overlord's been a complete bait that Clem has fallen for. This Nidus is going to go up in the main, and then Clem's going to have to defend on the fly. Oh, the Raven's going to see it, but it's too late to do anything about. There's no drones here. Clem, I mean, yeah, realizing way too late what's going on. I actually think Clem's just dead. But, sorry, we didn't watch the units pull out the Nidus in the last couple of seconds, but Clem is just absolutely dead. And well, this series has been fiery to start off with. 1-1 just like that. No chill between them. And we have got a game number 3 in the bottom right-hand side. The blue Terran player from Team Liquid is Clem. And the top left, red Zerg player is going to be Solar. Well, Roaches, Niduses, it's been an aggressive best of 3 so far. We'll see what happens in a third round of this, if Solar's going to chill it out a little bit. Short map, I mean, Roach Rush is good here. Will he play a little bit of macro? Really, everything kind of up in the air at the moment. We'll follow this Overlord across the map. What are some of your favorite personal? What are some of your personal favorite tasks when adminning? I don't know. Can you have a personal favorite task when adminning? Depends what sort of adminning I'm doing. It's gonna sound really weird, but there's something really satisfying about having like an overwhelmingly like lot to do and then getting it done. Is that weird? Like I think my favorite thing is having an event such as the Cast of Civil War, and right now I feel like I'm like 10 feet underwater, and like, you know, I'm literally like trying to message people and like do things between games while I'm casting, because I'm just like non-stop. And you know, I was up until 3 AM sending out emails and setting up admin stuff, but then seeing it all come together and the event run smoothly and it just working and just everything being like good, people enjoy it. I know that's maybe not quite admin in this sense, but like I think that's the best bit. So yeah, I don't know. And there's just something, like I said, it's just something satisfying about doing something which seems like really difficult. And you got to put like a crap ton of work into, and then just seeing it work and they come to life and they work out and stuff. Like I was already really hyped that I managed to get all 8 of us casters online at the same time, and we had a draft that didn't have any issues or anything, right? It just ran super smoothly. So, yeah, I don't know, like stuff like that's just really pleasing, so I'm gonna be stressed as shit for the next week while we get the Cast of Civil War underway. The first matches start a week today, and then once that's happening, I'll probably feel really good. And then I'll be like, hell yeah, this was great. Let's go. Love my life. We're just dancing around. That's what we're following obviously here early, as you do see a 3cc from Clem. I go into a second Rax pretty quickly back at home as well, though. So 3cc into an additional Rax means that we will just kind of power up into that bioplate very quickly. This isn't going to be any sort of starport support, so we're not going to be seeing the potential for a Banshee like we've seen in previous games, or that Raven, which he's tried to go into 2 games in a row so far. Obviously hasn't really been able to do much with the Raven. First game he cancelled it to build a Banshee instead. Second game it spawned and he died to the Nidus. But we're going to not see it in game number 3 at all either. And I think that's just because this map doesn't really lend itself to Banshee play. One of the things about this map a lot of the time was the fact that it was very kind of short. And the Raven usually is meant to be kind of helping you to clean creep out on larger maps and so on. Maybe harassing maps that can sit behind the mineral lines on more easily. Just doesn't go as well on a map like Berlingrad. It just doesn't flow as nicely as other builds do. Hellions moving up the top side, and just going to be seeing the Reaper Hellion Force just pinging away. Queen taking a little bit of damage. A couple of extractors coming out from Solar. And just going to go into all of his gases here as the Roach comes up, but obviously this is at least planning to be a longer game. You know, this is not a game which looks as though it's going to end in the very near future at least, so something a little different in that regard. How's the Hellions and the Reaper? Moving back towards the top side, and they're just going to be keeping the map control here at the moment from Clem, so they keep some map control up. If they can find a creep tumor to pick off, that's always nice as well, but not a guarantee. A lot of queens on that right side, just kind of saying, nah, to that little group of Hellions. Let's just come back down through the center then. Marines get a single Zergling. Missile upgrades continuing through. That Roach speed is going to be coming up on the Roach as well, and just going to go straight into those 1-1 missile upgrades as the medevacs go back out into the center of the map. Download here. Scan goes down. A little bit of creep already being cleared out, and just opening the path up through the middle of the map. First Reaper goes down already. A few SCVs are getting killed. And just going to see a few other Marines coming across as well. The Lings will continue to chase in. SCVs will pull. Just going to see 4 SCVs going down. So far, so good. 4 SCVs getting picked up. The SCVs turn around again. All of that gets taken down there. Just going to be seeing the Marine Hellbat force from Clem working out over to that right-hand side. Just, again, a little bit of damage from a run-by, but overall, pretty calm and collected. Still a very playable scenario as Solar just readying up for this Roach Ravager attack, which we've seen Clem thwart once today from Ratata. We'll see if he can do it a second time. The missile upgrade is still just coming up. Plenty of Roaches in production. The 1-1 concussive shells. Everything continuing through for the moment here. Going to drop a refinery down as well. Kind of got a lot of tanks on the way. What's he really kind of playing with here overall? Knowledge-wise, I think he's fairly aware of what's going on. The only thing I would say is that he doesn't really have like a bunker at the front or anything just yet. Gonna see what happened. Just tuned in what happened early game, why Solar so far ahead. He's not far ahead, it's just this is typical supplies for Roach Ravager 1-1 timing versus a Terran when nothing's happened. I'm just gonna try and wall off a little bit here. Solar's gonna open up this path, so he has like 2 angles in from the left and the right side essentially. Clem doesn't know exactly where this attack is coming from, so it's a bit of guesswork, and he's kind of guessing the left side right now, but it's going to be the right. He stims immediately. The only issue with being here is that Clem does not have a good position to really pull SCVs into this fight either, and the Roach Ravager is just going to push on through. I don't think you stop this, actually. I think Clem's dead. I mean, you kind of are meant to have the SCVs. Because Solar came in from this side and this side, he had a great concave as well, which obviously makes it all the more difficult. Clem is dead. I'm going to take a little rewind on this, because this is actually a really interesting game state in comparison to earlier when we had a similar kind of play from Ratata. Can you just rewind this just to have a quick look or so? But, you know, Ratata, when he attacked and he came in from this direction, it's not easy to flank in from here and here for the concave, because that's a very far distance to walk around. But opening up these rocks means you can come in here and here much more easily. And like I say, look at the concave you get straight away. And what's really cool as well is if you fight here, Clem pulls his SCVs from here into the fight. If you fight over here, Clem has much further to pull SCVs from here, even from here, to get into the fight as well. And that means that if SCV, usually the idea is SCVs get in front, they buffer, they keep the units alive, you lose workers, but they are rebuildable, and you just keep enough army alive to then overwhelm this force. Especially when you don't have the bunkers up, etc. And Clem wasn't really prepared to fight in this direction. Like, this tank is completely out of the fight for the majority of it as well. You know, any reinforcing tank that wants to play high ground over here, that's not going to work either. So this is actually a really cool direction to attack in from Solar, just like completely different to what we saw earlier from Ratata. And Clem's defense is just not built around defending here. I think he saw it late as well. He wasn't quite sure what it was. But yeah, his defense really wasn't built around defending over there. So, jeez, that was kind of a cool little difference just from what we saw earlier and so on.